That waiting for the gun, the nerves are just too much, thinking about what is about to go down.
There goes the horn to start the race.
No, I think it's really amazing. And now the whole setup and people are dressed up.
We're giving something, I think, to the people is just fantastic.
The support on the side of the road is second to none, and that gives you the extra oomph.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. The scenery is beyond what I could imagine. I seriously enjoyed it. I met so many wonderful people on the way.
Really enjoying Cape Town. People seem to really appreciate artwork here, which is really nice.
Come and visit Cape Town. We are waiting for you with open arms. We welcome you here. This will remain a city of hope and opportunity for everyone, not just in Cape Town, but around the country and the world.
And he takes the tape.
Cape Town is open, safe and ready to host you.
Beautiful renditions of the Dutch and German national anthems as we get ready and get set to bring the curtain down on what has been a fantastic Masters Hockey World Cup. It is the men's over 45 final. It is the final game of the tournament. And once again, as was the case in the over 50 division, is the Netherlands up against Germany. It is traditional rivals duking it out to be crowned world champion.
Well, the two top teams in this age group go head to head now. As you said, old rivals. No love lost between these two hockey nations, but proud hockey nations they are. Rich history and many accolades. Can they add a Masters World Cup to that as well? In 2022 here in Cape Town. A festive atmosphere here at Hartley Vale. Been a really, really good day out as we've seen third and fourth playoffs finals here at Hartley Vale. Many of the players coming to support their fellow teammates and teams and countries. Some of them now stuck in the beer tent across the Hartley Vale turf, and others have piled into these stands and are singing anthems and cheering. So really a great spirit around this hockey field. Many friends made over these last 10 days.
So the Netherlands have come through unbeaten. The men's over 45 division, they have not lost a game. Won every single one of their pool games, got through their semi-final and are into the final. For Germany, they've had one defeat along the way. And guess, I'll give you a guess, which team it is that they lost to. By 3-2 in the pool game. The Dutch beat the Germans. So will there be retribution for the men in white? Or will the Netherlands finish the tournament unbeaten? The left-hand side for Germany, Bomb decides to lay the ball back just out of reach of Kruse. So it's cleaned up by Juk. A bit of patience as the Netherlands don't seem too keen to press up high. They're happy with the half court for now. Juk has space on the left-hand side. Does find Bomb, who wins the free hit, surveys his options, gets it going immediately. Good trickery there by Kruse.
So a good measured start from Germany, holding on to possession. They go over the top, trying to exploit some space on the right-hand side, and that just doesn't go to stick. Dutch will come out through Hillen. Back three for the Dutch. Burgers. Burgers just looks to hold up and ball out to Broer. One single striker for the Germans who just puts a little bit of pressure and shifts left and right. Little nudge forward for the Dutch, who hold the ball up in the 23-meter area. Go through Stevens. Stevens, 3 white shirts converge on him in the far wide area. Cross comes in.
And it is a free hit to, at least a sideline hit to the Netherlands on the far side. So both teams happy to employ the half-court press in the early stages. And perhaps that's just a way to feel out the opposition.
So the Dutch here are, as you're right, retreating to a three-quarter. Tucking number 10, Broer, quite deep into the right midfield channel and playing right striker, but he drops deep, which almost looks like the Dutch are playing with 2 up front, but they're not, because as the ball gets transferred to the left, he seems to step up a little higher. And lets his right midfielder, Stevens, take over that right outside midfield channel. So he just drops into the midfield now and then steps up a little later. So it's the number 32, Jurk, who fires it out right. for the Germans. The Dutch win the ball and will come out via Burgers.
Well, these first few minutes will be, dare we say it, a bit scrappy, as both teams have a feel for each other, get a feel of the surface. You can see what it looks like, a few puddles of water, as the sprinklers had been on just before the game.
Brewer to Van Dijk, who goes for the crash ball. Number 10, Brewer, just impedes the German defender's stick. Brewer will field again. Set up his platform. He's getting a bit of a reverse press coming in under pressure from Kosling. And now the ball's lost and the counter-attack. Kosling on the ball now will look to make some connections, feeds it into the space. Fires it in on the far post. Dutch have 3 just positioned very well in a sort of triangle formation on that 9-yard area. They deal with near post, far post, and the penalty spot. And they just shepherd their ball out over the sideline. Good congestion through the middle from the Dutch. Play out through Kaizen, the captain. Finds Stevens on the turn, and he's got support out wide through Brewer, who he feeds, and now Brewer will drive into the circle. Pops it, slips it, and just cannot find Kruisman's stick.
Good counter attack hockey from the Netherlands, and then equally good scrambling by Germany to get enough numbers back and into the critical areas. Kruisman tried to play to the umpire, tried to force something and see if he can get away with it, but the umpire was aware to what was going on as Germany, through Captain Muller, sends it back to the back. And you mentioned early on that the Dutch number 10, Brouwer, was really deep in his defensive efforts, but he's also kind of forced to go deep because Baum, the left half of Germany, is creeping up the left-hand side. And what that does is that allows Germany then to split the 4 that they have at the back into a 3 and gets their captain Muller into this sort of area. So
they definitely are manipulating that back 4 into a back 3 and just using that outside space nicely. I wonder if they'll just go into a platform of 2 with 2 wide wing backs later. I know England like to employ those kind of tactics. Germans do well to just play with 3 to 4 and 4 to 3.
So, patient. The Netherlands goes up for Kruisman on the 23. Is under pressure from Richter. Taken quickly by Kruisman. Hands it off to Burgers. Burgers gets into the circle, although he is tackled by Kossel for Germany. And the big wild swipe from Richter. Probably no need for that. Gives it straight to Stevens.
You just need a much better composure of that. Ball's fired in. Goal! And that comes from a poor clearance from Germany.
Yeah, the wild swipe from Richter. Tries to get the ball out of the back. Picked up by Stevens, who then rolled nicely into the top of the 23. Good overlapping run from Van der Graaf on the right-hand side into a bit of space. Presence of mind then not to have the shot. Spotting Bauer in on the P-spot. Little hatch pass. And then the first time slap from the number 10. Hands the lead to the Netherlands.
And that's our number 10 who we were chatting about earlier. He just drifts into that midfield and then comes up high to play striker. And he just gets onto the right area in front of the keeper. All he needed was the touch, and he touches it well and slides it over the German keeper. So the German keeper, Zindler, beaten. It's 1-0 to the Netherlands. 9.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Nice little diagonal run, and the spin comes from Grunich, and he wins the corner. Germany look to hit back.
Strong challenge coming in from Timmerman. A bit too much physical contact for the umpire's liking. Taking a tumble was the German striker Kosling. And indeed, it is a short corner to Germany. So a chance for Germany to hit back immediately.
What Grunning does so well is he cuts in on that 45-degree angle, which is a dangerous area for Netherlands to defend, but then he spins out of it and goes to space again. The Dutch then are scrambling on defense and have to shift, and there induces the penalty corner. The stop comes in, the flick is there. Well defended by Van Dijk, who eventually clears.
So Cruz, options for Germany, opting to go back to his skipper, who sends it out to the right-hand side, Jok. Big ball into the corner, there's space now. Big ball across, cut out by the Netherlands, by Brouwer. It seems as though, Mario, we've got two Brouwers on the field. We've got to keep our wits about ourselves as to which one is which, although Germany now through Kossel tries to get past Stevens, but the first indiscretion goes the way of Germany. Kossel once again makes it live. Allowed to carry the ball outside, gets it into the circle. Schaefer, back to Kossel. And short corner given away by the Netherlands.
Well, Engelsman comes off his line quite quickly, the Netherlands keeper, and he just smothers things, but the corner is conceded. You're right, there are two Brewers in this team. We only get these team sheets 5 minutes before pushback, and we try to learn the names as quickly as possible. We are on our 5th game of the day. So, injection's good. Drag flick comes in there. The Germans say, well, did it come off a body of the Dutch last line of defense? Well, we can't see from our vantage point here. There's a little bit of deliberation going on.
Obviously, the Netherlands claiming it came off the glove of the postman, which indeed it seemed as though it has, although...
Postman's rubbing his head.
It's hard to say that. He's
So
rubbing
did
his
he
head.
headed the ball out? If he did... Well, it's a long corner. So, headed out into touch for a long corner.
That is a Brouwer that gets the ball away. So Germany once again. Schaefer tries the big hit through. It's loose, but Jablowski gets it onto a Dutch foot in the circle, and it'll be another short corner for Germany. So they've got the ascendancy, Germany. They've got a little bit of momentum, but they've got to start making these chances count.
What I like about Jablowski is he glides into that space and he finds himself on his forehand off the right shoulder of his defender. So he's able to sweep that ball on his forehand. Either he's going to find a foot or he's going to get a clean strike and a goal. He finds the foot, wins the corner for his team. So Germany look to bounce back. Top of the D's, Müller. He comes in, fires it low. Saved by Engelsman. Never easy when it's straight at your feet. You're anticipating the high ball there, and it just comes out straight at his feet. Ball in again. And it's again Jablowski, who's in among the thicker things there, just making a nuisance of himself in amongst the blue shirts of the Netherlands, living off little bits of scraps and putting a stick in and making things difficult as the ball bobbles around that 9-yard area.
Stepping up in defense by the Netherlands to try and keep Germany out. Still there for the Germans, though, through a long corner, taken quickly. Yike into nice little deflection, a chance! The first time shot, slap at least from Groningen. Takes another deflection off a Dutch stick. So once again, long corner as Kossel surveys his options. Decides to go to his captain on the right-hand side. Big switch immediately to Yake. Now the big ball attempt. Charge down initially. Yake with the carry into the circle. Big challenge again, but an excellent tackle. That one was from Timmerman. And now the Dutch come away. 2v1 situation. On the right-hand side is the captain, Kleinsman. Big ball forward, looking for Koosman on the lead. Big ball across and easily dealt with in the end by Yake, who's overhead.
Yeah, the
ball
Germans
other
get
way.
numbers. They get numbers back very quickly and just congest the middle of the goals. And I'm afraid Stevens is going to go off for a while.
A massive shove from Stevens, nowhere near the ball. You just saw that right arm come in into the back of Kosling.
Just before that counter, the Dutch had got away with another push in the circle, which I was thinking, wow, is that was going to be a deliberate infringement in the circle? Was that going to be a penalty stroke? We don't have a replay here. There was a heavy tackle on one of the German defenders before we had that last counter. Direct ball by Jurk into the D, comes to nothing. So 3 minutes out from this first quarter. Dutch score through Jorg Brewer. Nice little deflection slice over the keeper. The Dutch come back through Van der Graaf. De Groen does well for Germany to get out of that left-hand side area. Neat little skill, and they transfer the ball well to the right-hand side. Just support is slow. Jurk. He loves to go direct.
Good run down that far left-hand side for Burgers, although he is well marshaled by Richter. Burgers doing really well, even though isolated, nobody around him. Big ball forward, onto the stick of Van Voorkom. Into the circle for Van Voorkom. Still there for him, looks for the foot. But the German defenders align themselves brilliantly. Will come away with it.
Yeah, they don't fly in, which is a good thing, and just time their tackles to perfection. Flat stick tackles. Germans are renowned for being good indoor players. Hold nicely on the flat, step into the space well. And don't give the corner away either. The Jurg. Müller. He's back to Jurg. Now they'll go look long and over the top. Easily fielded and gathered by the Dutch.
Around the back from Timmerman to Brouwer.
That's short. Brouwer.
I wasn't even going to attempt to pronounce that first name.
So, turn under pressure in the midfield, wins the hit. Gets his knuckles wrapped for good measure. That's Burgers.
Well, 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter as Timmerman steps up to the ball. Big overhead from Timmerman, looking for the high striker. It is there for Kroesman. He unfortunately can't maintain control of the ball, so it'll go over on the sideline. And Germany will perhaps just run the clock down this final few seconds. Indeed, that is the whistle and the horn that sounds to signal the end of the opening quarter. And at the end of the first quarter, it is the Netherlands with a slender 1-0 lead over Germany. So, welcome back to the second quarter of the men's over 45 final, the Masters World Cup, held here in Cape Town, South Africa. And it is the start of a quarter that sees the men in blue and orange holding a slender 1-0 lead over the men in white and black. The Netherlands up against Germany, traditional rivals on the hockey field. For now, it is the Dutch with the lead, and immediately Germany can start the second quarter with a short corner.
Well, Kosling does well there as he comes on in at that angle. He almost blindsides the number 10, Jorgbroer. No, sorry, it's number 16, Sander Temmerman. He almost blindsides him and gets him onto that byline and forces the penalty corner. So a good start to the second quarter for Germany.
So it's Kroos at the top of the circle for Germany. Bit of a skew push with Kroos. Looks for the deflection made by Timmerman, but he cannot get the ball onto a teammate's stick to launch the counter-attack.
The Dutch alternating between two strikers and dropping that right-hand one down deep again. The Germans manipulating to a back three, using the space on the outside like a wing back. Kruseman wins possession for the Netherlands. Germany have come back strongly in this game. Created some really good chances. Afterwards, just felt in the first opening minutes and the first opening quarter, you felt that the Dutch had the ascendancy. They've worked themselves well into this game. Starting to find more and more chances, get more and more corners. Two contrasting styles of play. And it's Van Voorkom can't gather there for the Netherlands. And Richter will restart. And here we go. Back four now, Germany.
Overhead claimed by the Netherlands, but gives it straight back to Germany. As Jablowski does try and get the ball to Kosling. And again, Kosling has been on the end of quite a few of those extra bits, shall we call it, as the big ball through. Looks for Van Voorkom. Van Voorkom cannot get his stick on the end of it. Like I was saying, Kosling is making himself pretty much a nuisance to the Dutch defenders, and every so now and then he gets an extra "hello, how are you" from the Netherlands defenders.
Oh, he almost gets into the blind spot of defenders. So fielded from Van Dijk. German. Gets himself. That's Bohm. Just feel it. Just feel it.
long corner, long corner.
The game slows down. Cameraman looks deep. Find the ball on the tee. In a very good position, but black sticks come in again from the Germans. Good patience, they win the hit.
Doing excellent work on defense for Germany. Being strong and flat on that front side of him. Urkom. And it goes to the
I'm inside.
running the ball out. Netherlands defense deemed to have been a raised ball. So Timmerman. Burgers. Water especially.
So Müller. Need a little spark, a little spark. Score that, buddy, score that, buddy.
On your side, on your side.
Scored in. First quarter. Oh, Brewer. That's the only goal that separates them at this stage. In a game of cat and mouse. Tight, as you'd expect in a final. Cameraman. Cameraman plays short to Burgers. Burgers has loved running today. Tries to flip it over flat sticks.
Good pocket from Germany as Kosling wins it. Cruz, but he too is under pressure from Stevens. So advantage for the Netherlands. Coming away with it to the top of the 23 and all the way back. Stevens under a bit of pressure again. Continuing his run as Kruseman tries to get it back to him, but disrupted again by Germany, and stepping through is the Dutch number 4, Tom van Dijk. Although ball does go over the sideline, so it's Germany that will have to build from their 23. The single striker up front, Klaassen, at least, for the Netherlands. Pulled back, and a great ball through for Germany into the circle. Klossman! And again, Klossling finding himself in good spaces.
He actually had enough time to take a touch there even. But takes a snapshot. I mean, if he had connected that, that was goal time for Germany. He found himself in acres of space. In those situations, you don't realize you actually got an extra second on the ball. So, Kosling has been dangerous for Germany.
Two and a half minutes until half-time. Big overhead dealt with by Müller for Germany. He's under a bit of pressure, but Müller with the presence of mind just to pop it onto the foot of Van Voorkom. As Germany come away with it. No pressure there for De Groen. So he's able to collect a mistrap. Ziyech now to Müller. Looks for options. Does the German captain. Continuing his little run and carry. Tries to get it through, but Stevens steps up, and that's what the Dutch wanted. Turnover ball. Now it comes through for the captain. Klaassen into the circle. Back stick! Good save from the German goalkeeper Zindler. But here come the Netherlands once again. Stevens, right inside. Marshaled well though. Stevens looks for the pass. Comes off a German stick. Long corner it is to the Netherlands.
We've got some young umpires here today. From England, we've got Sam Williams from Manchester. See how young he is. Umpiring a very tense final. Then, of course, on the other side is Chester Jordan from South Africa.
Stevens, good little roll into the circle. Draws the foul, does Stevens, and wins the short corner with 60 seconds to go until half-time.
And both these umpires have had good games. And plenty said about the umpires at this tournament, but these guys are really at young age. They are having a really good game. They've let the game flow. They haven't been card happy. They haven't just imposed themselves. They haven't wanted to be the main attraction here. And they've done well so far.
But also, they've also held their own when they are questioned by players.
Most
Usually,
definitely.
You get some umpires that back off and let the players take over, but they've stood their ground as the chance now. Clean one, good save from Zindler, and scrambled away by
that was a
Daniel.
great strike and a good save.
Good hockey all around at that short corner as the Netherlands throw the ball all the way to the back. The players start walking towards the respective dugouts as the halftime hooter goes in the men's over 45 division final at the World Hockey Masters World Cup. It is the Netherlands 1, Germany 0.
At thehockeysite.com, it's about what happens in the locker room, thinking about the game. It's about planning and preparation, and about training and improving those skills, looking at it from different angles. But of course, it's also about teaching them to score and win. Thehockeysite.com. Share the knowledge.
As the Netherlands and Germany make their way back out onto the field, they've had their halftime break. They've had their team talks with the respective coaches. Could we be in for a grandstand finish to the final game, the game that wraps up the Masters Hockey World Cup out here in Cape Town, South Africa? Germany with their backs against the wall. 1 goal down.
Well, Germany have had their chances in this game. Kostling with that cross that just got a bit of stick to, but just couldn't get it on target. Been getting himself into good positions. Germany hunting down that equalizer. GER. Wide to Grinnig. Dutch step up a little higher now up the field. Now they're quite happy for Germany to just transfer the ball amongst their back three. To push Braum up the outside left half. He's high. He's almost on the 23-meter line. Oh, good little inside touch. Long ball comes in. Timmerman fields and does well. To Kruzman. Back to Kruzman. Just can't complete that connection. Yuch just falls over. And it's Stevens who drives into the D. Still got the ball. Looks for the tip in. Gets a German deflection. German saying that ball was played into the D pretty high and dangerous, but umpires decides that it was a legitimate pass. Another ball for the for the near post.
Stevens again. Big ball through, cut out once again by Germany, who scramble it away. Dutch fighting. Had enough of the right-hand side. They're going to come all the way back. Throw out the Germans. Create some space for them to work with. Now Stevens finds himself into space. That's a good lead from Stevens. He's been really busy in this game, has Stevens.
He's got good energy. He's just worked his way basically from high areas into that midfield, out again, deep and then high. And his movement is so good. So comes in from those high areas and into the deep areas. Again, he's looking for ball. Doesn't get it. Moves out of the space, and there's someone else that he creates space for. Intelligent work from him today.
Under advantage. Or through. Form just allows it to go over the baseline. No real lead from any of the high strikers. Especially Joch Brouwer, whose goal is the only thing that separates these teams at the moment.
So Müller. Ruchter, back to Müller, the captain. Got Jurg to his left. And Brom, he's trying to creep up that left-hand touchline again. Just plays it back to Jurg. Jurg happy to go back to his captain Müller, who'll probe down this right-hand side, looking for his runners. Plays it into space very nicely. Fortunately, goes into touch and Kosling can't gather. It's a little bit too far from him, for him.
That's clever from the Dutch captain, just to keep the ball in, keep the ball alive, although it does fall kindly for Germany. But the hand is straight back. And again, a bit of party favors happening on the field. Each side deciding that they want the opposition to have it. As Cruz goes back to Muller. Big ball on the 45. And just out of the reach of Villas as Van Dijk just allows it to go past.
So Timmerman, under a bit of pressure now. Brewer wide to Van Dijk. Dijk goes long. Accepted by Brom. Burgers. Ooh. Ball over the top, which it's some good for it. Good space in behind. Just snuffled out by the Germans. So long ball played by the Germans from left to right. Just can't find their midfielders or their strikers in those wide areas. The Germans are happy to play the ball over the sideline high up, and now they look to press. If you ever played a German indoor side before, they often do that. When they're under pressure, they just put it over the baseline and press you. Sometimes they're quite happy to play without the ball and force you to make mistakes deep in your own half. So, Timmerman. Still, Timmerman on the ball. Held up nicely up front by Kruzman. Pressure still, Timmerman. Lovely little ball into the space now for Klesian. Who now? Oh, lovely skill. Gets the ball in. Oh, post. Goal! Classic Dutch goal. And it's Brewer with his second goal of the World Cup final on the far post.
And that all started with the overhead from Timmerman, finding his captain, Klesian, in a bit of space. Good hands, good skills from the captain. Gets himself into an attacking area after eliminating the first defender. Then got the eyes up, saw he had two options. Rolls it to the far post. And as any good striker will tell you, if you're on the far post, you're on the P spot, you've always got a chance to score when the ball is there.
So he's got himself into two very good areas today and finished beautifully for Holland. What a bit of individual skill by Mark-Jan Klesian. He just went inside and got the little pop into space and then sets up Jorg Brewer on the far post. So it's those little moments in a World Cup final, those little bit of individual brilliance, as we've always said, that's the difference. The captain takes it upon himself to provide that brilliance and set up the second goal for the Netherlands.
Well, now needlessly giving it away are the Netherlands. Big ball forward, intercepted by Brewer, not the goal scorer. The other one, as Klesian in midfield, happy to keep the ball among the backs. Big ball forward now from Van Dijk, finds Stevens, who's again just pops up in midfield. Klesian disrupted as Kosling now tries to get something for Germany. It rolls past the Dutch captain, although his attempted pass doesn't have enough Vuma on it, shall we call it. And Stevens, big ball over, Kusman. Good lead by him on the right-hand side. He's got nobody with him. Three German defenders in front of him. And Jörg makes the tackle, wins the free hit, and disrupts things for the Netherlands.
As you say, Stevens so good in that midfield for the Dutch. Little overhead. Work rate is so high. Finds himself in good space. Creates space for others too, which is so important. Doesn't just hold areas, moves out of it, creates such good space. So, Germany look to come back. The cross comes in. Touch from Stevens. An attempted smash from Kruning goes wide.
That's the build-up that Germany wants. That's the one that they need to do more of. Move the ball around, manipulate the Dutch defense, and then find those little gaps in just behind. When the ball comes across, it's dangerous inside the circle. Regardless of whether it's smashed or a hatch pass, anytime the ball's in the circle, it's dangerous for the defense. And that occasion there just proved that for Germany. It's just unfortunate that Groningen was unable to find the target with his little snapshot.
So Ruchter, sorry, it's Van der Graaf on the ball. Wins the hit for the Netherlands. Timmerman on the ball now, who was so instrumental in that. Some of that long ball, he's got a good overhead on him.
I think the captain, Klesian, just motioning there to Timmerman after he smashed the ball. Just throw the ball over. Just a little dink over the top, and we'll get onto it. What he wants out of his strikers does Klesian. They want the ball in behind the German defense.
So the Germans now have to make all the play. They need to get themselves back into this match. Had a few chances and a few half chances. Müller now.
Tripping himself up there is Kossel, but keeping his balance. Nice little spin. Gets him past Burgers, big ball in, claimed by Stevens for the Netherlands, who works his way out. And green card comes out for Germany. There's Schaefer.
So you see how Stevens gets deep, and he's actually playing in that right outside midfield channel, but he got himself deep into defensive position. He gets himself all over that park. Space on the outside, which is utilized well by Germany. Bauer. Bauer just drives into this area on the right-hand side. Still got the ball, but he's surrounded by Dutch defenders. Come out through Burgers. Intercepted by Jurk. Grunick just tidies things up.
Kossel looks for options. Got his left half with him. But the Dutch, they realign so quickly. At the moment the receiver gets his eyes up, all he sees in front of him is orange socks, blue shirts, as Van Graan smashes this ball, or at least Van der Graaf smashes this ball upfield, tries to release some of that pressure. And you'd think that the Netherlands would want to step their players up quickly. It seems as though they're on a Sunday stroll.
Yep, they're quite happy. They say, right, you restart. We've got 11 men behind the ball. You come at us again. You make all the play and we'll intercept.
Van der Graaf makes the interception. Going at a one-on-one with Jurk. Sends it across. Stevenson's got a charge. It's loose and Muller disrupts it with his stick. Perhaps Van der Graaf could have been a little bit more selfish in that situation. Take on Jurk. Let's see what you can do. Get onto your reverse side. Have the shot. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, he could have delayed and waited for Stevens maybe to get onto that far post. Stevens, his work rate has been so high that I think he was pretty tired in getting up. So 3.5 minutes left in this third quarter. The Dutch just cruising now. Just happy to play percentage hockey. Pressure. Germany now putting a little high press on, just trying to win some ball, put some pressure on the defenders of the Netherlands. Get a little half chance, get a corner, get themselves back into this game. Dutch happy to not play too much hockey. Jurk. And Dijk wins possession for the Netherlands. Timmerman might just go long. And he does. Ooh, a little tricky ball from the captain, Kleisjen. Maybe too cute. Germany have possession again. Gruning can't execute.
Buseman for the Netherlands has got space on the right-hand side. He does indeed find Van Voorkom, who's just holding this one up, looking for some support. So Hassel is there from the Germans. Cruz wins the ball back. Big ball now for Germany. Kleisjen gets his stick onto the end of it. And Van Dijk tidies up. Stevens again tries to spark something for Burgers. Back to Stevens. Again, good step up by Jurk for Germany. Excellent work by the number 32. He's been really busy as York. Looking for options is York. Nobody moving off the ball for Germany. So Muller forced to smash it into the circle. It goes. Timmerman gets his stick onto the end of it. It's still there on the 23 though for Germany as Kruse. He decides to smash it. And it's a bit of a niggle off the ball.
Kostling again gets himself into quite a good position.
Wouldn't be surprised if it was Kostling that just ran into the Dutch defender Van Dijk. Just because he just pops up randomly.
So we're into that final minute now of the third quarter. The Dutch aren't in a hurry to restart. They know they're about 18 minutes away from a World Cup gold medal. This Masters over 45 section. Kostling says, let's get on with it. Timmerman. The long ball. Brunik just can't field it and trap it. Just bobbles over the sideline.
Running the clock down, Brewer. Sends it to Timmerman. Into midfield, Van der Graaf. That's the turn from him. Usman. Good lead. Good work this from the Netherlands. Van der Graaf. Nice to get past Neugebauer, although the umpire says free hit to the Netherlands.
Such a good little overlap there. You know, Van der Graaf playing the ball high and then coming on the wraparound on the left-hand side. Plays it through that midfield line so nicely. Then continues his run high. Now, just as Germany break out, the hooter sounds. And it's the end of the third quarter with the Netherlands goals through Jorg Brewer, both from open play. And they find themselves 2-0 up going into the final quarter. Join us after the break.
So after 10 days of hockey, the curtain is about to be brought down on the Masters Hockey World Cup. 17 and a half minutes in the final game of the tournament. At the moment, it is 17 and a half minutes away from the Netherlands claiming the title of world champions.
So some stern words on the touchline by the coach from Germany, Patrick van Danwitz, who was urging his players for this final 17 minutes to get back in this game. He had the board out there and he was saying, you've got to play it left and into the midfield and turn and then transfer ball to the right. I was watching his team talk, urging his players on, getting every bit of ounce of effort out of them.
Were you just following what he was doing on the board instead of listening to what he was saying?
Well, I don't understand what he's saying, but I could see what he was drawing on the board. He's just urging these players now who are tired and have everything to play for, and the Dutch are just happy to drop back and say, come at us. We'll win ball, we'll congest areas, and we'll just send the ball back into your half. Nice little touch there from Timmerman. A vital touch as high-lying strikers in the form of Willers was up working from the baseline for Germany and just looking for a little deflection. So Müller, the captain, plays it into space. Richter, who drives, turns, spins, fires towards the near post and just hits the sideboard. So Sander Timmerman into Stevens, who arcs and plays high. And the Dutch stand around, organize themselves again, and go to the halfway line and say, right, you work it back into our territory. We'll be waiting for you. Jurk advances, goes through the middle. Timmerman clears out.
Strong work from Burgers to latch on to that one. So really good work by the Netherlands players. The ball pops loose into sort of a 50-50 area. Not necessarily the player whose stick the ball had come off of was doing the work. It's always one of the other players that just picks up and finds himself fighting for the ball. That's perhaps also one of the aspects that has seen the difference between the Dutch and the Germans, that the Dutch are working for each other, whereas Germany, it's kind of been like an isolation to everything, but it's a good overhead looking for Van Dijk, but the skid of the ball off the AstroTurf proves a little bit too much for Van Dijk.
You know, the flatter aerial ball just seems to skid as it hits and accelerates. Good space in behind. Kossel on the inside run will turn again. Gets into space. Oh, and he asks for a corner. Doesn't get it. Cruz. Richter. And Richter wins the short corner.
A needless tackle from Kruseman, just throwing his stick in there and make a proper stick check on Richter. So a short corner it is to Germany, and immediately in that previous play, when the umpire, Sam Williams, gave the free hit instead of the corner, immediately put his hand up to apologize, and so, you know, kind of avoid one of the German players rushing up to him and giving him a word or two. But it is Germany with Muller at the top of the circle. It is Muller for the deflection, and Kosling again gets onto the end of Timmerman. And Kosling again, one of those situations where he's running in, eyes focused on the ball, and Timmerman just holding his ground. Kosling flies into him at full speed.
Well, I wouldn't like to run into Timmerman.
Not on the hockey field, not in a dark alley.
He just holds his ground so well. And Kosling just gets knocked over, holding his arm. He seems to be okay. I don't know if we've got a decision from the umpire. I think it's going to be a long corner. Timmerman might have got a little nick on that. So it's a long corner to the Germans.
The umpire just letting Kosling know that because the medical staff had made their way onto the field to tend to him, he's got to go off and he's got to be replaced.
He looks like he's just been a bit winded. He holds his ribs. Space out left, Baum. They decide to, he's just crept up again. In through the middle. Schaefer. Yerk. And now Baum gets that ball. The turn. Baum. In. Stevens back on defense. Stevens quite happy to smash it up every time he gets the ball now. Dutch realign, but they get a little touch on that, and it should be a long corner to Germany. Oh, Germany trying to work their way in here. There's plenty of time for them to equalize. Holland must just not rest on their laurels now. Ball played in. Timmerman does well to defend. And Vurkom will come out, wins the hit, and they'll just slow things down for a moment or two.
Still a bit of deja vu settling in here, Mari. We're in a exact same situation as we were in the men's over 50 final, with the Netherlands also going into the final quarter. 2 goals to the good over Germany, and sitting back in that fourth quarter, allowing the opposition to come at them.
Quite right. And now, Stevens plays it out wide to Van der Graaf. He just wins the hit 5 meters out. The German D. Quick ball played by Van Dijk. He just loses it, and it's a 16-yard. Got quite gloomy here in Cape Town. This late Monday afternoon, the final game of this Masters World Cup here in Cape Town. Richter, the touch. Gruning wins possession. Gruning scanning, playing high. Schaefer. Schaefer with the crash ball. Lost. Germany advance. Well dealt with by Holland, who played out through Burgers. Van Vurkom on it here, isolated into the midfield. Who's there? Obviously Stevens. Tireless midfielder. Burgers carries it up as he's done all day, carrying it up that left-hand side. Every time I see him run, I think, oh, how are your hamstrings doing so well this stage of the tournament?
Conditioning is what it is, Murray. Just seems as Burgers can keep running throughout the game, much like Stevens. They just got big engines on them. Rash pass from Muller in the sideline hit to the Netherlands. Hustling, making sure that the ball gets to the sideline very quickly, because the time starts to fade away. Big ball from Timmerman, looking for Stevens, although it finds Krusman. Good lead by the striker. Yerk is there for him. Gets past him, does Krusman. And back it comes to Stevens. Options now for the Netherlands. Happy to just keep the ball. Big ball now across, but nobody in and around the P spot to get the stick onto the end of it.
Brilliant crossfield ball, that. Fine Krusman from left to right. Germany. To Yerk. Müller. Kroos. Picked off nicely by Brewer. Grunig will start. Grunig captain plays out wide to Yuk. Just an unforced error there. He has a little go at the umpire, but it did touch his foot. He wasn't totally isolated that he could carry on. The right call by the umpire. Stevens turns, goes down the right-hand side, looking to connect. Can't find any help, so he goes on his own. 7 minutes from the end of this match. Holland just happy to keep it there in that right-hand side area, waste a few more seconds. Stevens again on the turn, the cross comes in.
Muller makes the interception, although Stevens felt that he deserved a little more out of that. So does some of his teammates as Germany now break away. Richter in the middle. Van der Graaf just puts him under pressure. And Burgers with one of those runs again, this time on defense, just to disrupt things a bit. As Richter sends it to the right-hand side to Cruz. Big ball forward. Looking for Schaefer. The smash. And Abrova gets enough of a stick on it. And says safety first is the option.
So again, Holland clear their lines, set up their defensive lines themselves. Germany win a hit. 5 meters out. Cruz. Way to the baseline. Kossel wins a hit. Kossel goes himself, 5 meters. Throws it in, gets the foot and wins the corner. So, coming up for 5.5 minutes left, can the Germans get a goal? Set up a big finish here.
This is the chance for Germany. They've got to get something from the short corner, and by something I mean a goal. They need to get it right now and then set themselves up to end this game on a strong note. There's only 5 minutes to go in this World Cup.
3 runners to the right. Müller on the top. Goes for the drag flick. Saved. Rebound comes in. It's just missed. So, Engelsman keeps Germany at bay in Dutch goal. Vincent Helen just goes off the ball and says, right, Timmerman, you do your thing. Play down the line. Burgers will run, as he has all game. Puts pressure on, slows things down for Germany. De Groen comes out of the defensive zone, wins a hit for Germany. So you would have felt that was the moment Germany needed to score. Save comes in, the rebound was there. Well dealt with by the Dutch defense. Platform is set now. Müller. Müller goes long. Accepted by Van Vurkom. Wins it, and Burgers just says, we'll run it back. Lindler. Goal for Germany now. Keeps it alive.
And Brova just allows that ball to go over. Perhaps Muller was distracted, thinking that the substitute that's about to come on was part of the play. And you could just see that the frustration at that as the overhead falls kindly, and the attempted first time backhand shot from Krusman.
Pretty optimistic. Pretty optimistic if he thought he could reverse hit that into the goals. Maybe he should have just collected. It would have been a one-on-one with a keeper. There's some tired bodies out there. That would have meant another 3 or 4 paces. Müller wins the possession for Germany. Little touch coming off Berger's stick.
So as time ticks away, the hopes of a German revival start fizzling. And will continue to fizzle out as the Netherlands come away with it. Brova for the big carry, but Müller makes the interception. Down the right-hand side, Bomb. Seen him on the left for most of the game. Gets it into the circle, comes off a stick of the Dutch defender, Van der Graaf. And will go for a long corner. Germany certainly giving it their all in the final few minutes. Advantages there for Kossel. Once again, a long corner this time. Burgers doing what he needs to do on defense.
GER plays it in, but it's high. Van Dijk just steers it away to the sideline. Groen isolated down that baseline and obstructs. And the Dutch can just come out of this now with less than 1.5 minutes left.
Timmerman from deep tries to get it to Hillen, who's on the field at left half, although a pass doesn't quite find him. So last chance saloon it is for Germany to at least get 1 goal in the final. It's in the circle. It's loose there for Brotz. And continuing the fight is Burgers. And it is Burgers that wins it off the stick of Groening. And that, Murray, that could well be that.
Well, their tactics after going 2-0 up, it just worked for Germany, for the Dutch. Little breakaway now.
Van der Graaf, 1-on-1 with the German goalkeeper. Stays it back for Stevens, and a penalty stroke awarded to the Netherlands. Good work from Stevens again, this time finding himself in a crucial area inside the circle. The big tackle coming in, the shove from the back. It looked as though Ralph Jörg was the defender to put in that challenge. And in that situation, an umpire will have little to no choice but to hand a penalty stroke.
I thought it also came off the last line of defense on the foot. So a number of infringements there. And Timmerman, who's going to take it, he actually deserves a goal. He's done so well on defense.
Well, Stevens could have taken it as well, as the Dutch fans start singing, and Timmerman does indeed score. It is the final nail in the German coffin, and is that penalty stroke that has most certainly now ensured that the Netherlands over 45 men's side have emulated the exploits of the over 50 side to claim the gold medal and the title of world champions. The clock will tick away. The final 10 seconds means nothing. Players are shaking hands on the field. The crowd has erupted into song on the sideline. And it's just a case of formality now as the final hooter blows. It's time for a Dutch party.
What a brilliant performance by the Netherlands, who win this game by 3-0. 2 goals by Jörg Brouwer, both from open play. The first one, a little reverse stick slice over the keeper. Second one on the far post, tip in. And then Sander Timmerman, who was colossal in defense today, ends up with a penalty corner after Van der Graaf found himself in space. And him and Stevens combined to win the Netherlands a penalty stroke on the stroke of the end of the fourth quarter. So well done to the Netherlands. An emphatic 3-0 win. They played this game beautifully. Their tactics were played out to perfection. And they will wear a gold medal tonight.
And as has been the case in all of the finals that we've had here, Murray, not a single sad face on the side that comes second. Their smiles are probably just as big, if not bigger, than the champions, because they know that they've given it their all. They know that they've played their part in an exceptionally high quality standard of hockey in the final.
You could just see this game was played in a really good spirit. There was no ill temper. Both players congratulating each other. There was a lot of just well-spirited, good sportsmanship out there today. So it's lovely to see as the Germans go into a huddle. They're proud of themselves. They've had a good tournament. The Dutch embrace each other. And I'm sure they'll party on long into the Cape Town night. I think the party started already. So here in Cape Town, it's 3-0 to Netherlands, who win the O45 World Cup.
So it will be Germany who will be the first to receive their medals. It is silver medals that will be draped around the necks of the German over 45 players. They'll be receiving their medals from the president of the South African Masters Hockey Association, Reg Murray. What a part that Germany played in the final and in the tournament as a whole. They've been consistent throughout the tournament. They've really earned their silver medal. Could have gone a different way for them, but they came up against a side that on their day was just a bit better and a bit more tactically aware. So just the final few medals, silver medals, goes over the heads and onto the necks of the German players and coaching staff. And it's now time for the gold medals to be handed out. Once again, it is the president of the South African Masters, Reg Murray, who will hand the Dutch players their gold medals. And in true fashion, as we've seen in all the finals thus far, the runners-up creating a guard of honor for the winners, and truly appreciative. It's been played in a really good spirit, has this tournament throughout the 10 days. You can just see, not only on the field, we've managed to pop down to Hartleville or to Western Province Cricket Club to watch a few of the games. You can just see the camaraderie between the nations in the sands and on the side of the field. It's just been a different feel about this competition and this tournament. It's one that everybody enjoys coming to. So all the medals have been handed out. The Netherlands have received their medals, and it's time now for Mark-Jan Clayson to step up, get hold of the trophy, and raise it into the air as the Netherlands are crowned world champions in the men's over 45 division. Masters Hockey World Cup champions are the Netherlands. And that brings us to an end. Thank you very much for joining us these past 10 days. It has been an absolute pleasure bringing you all the action from here at Hartleville and at Western Province Cricket Club. So until next time, we'll see you then.
We are fascinated by the mindsets and the habits that make individuals and teams perform at another level. Let us be your thought partners and transformational coaches. Are you part of a team and you are wanting to gain insight into what ingredients need to be in the mix to take your team to a whole new level of performance? Partner with us. We want to be your transformational coaches.